Well, before we go any further this morning, Andy, let's give that big thanks for our shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all right. We got a big thanks goes out to the Lazy Lion in Colorado Springs, Colorado. It's a over 21 private cannabis club. Gotta check out their Dabs bar. Thanks, you guys, for the shirt. If you want your shirt worn on air, all you gotta do is send Pipewrench a PM, and I'll tell you where to put the shirt. Let's talk about what everybody's talking about, and that is a 40-year high for inflation. Everything, Andy, everything's going through the roof.
It's ridiculous out there.
It's crazy, and inflation is just basically your dollar doesn't buy what it did before. I was in high school. For $20, we could get an ounce of weed, half a case of beer, and a half a tank, almost a full tank of gas. $20 now, you can't even go to the gas pumps. Gas is outrageous. It's what, $4.18, $4.20? $4.20 is cool, but not cool when it's gas.
Well, it skipped over 420 and right to 425.
Yeah, exactly. And so what the hell? How did we get where we're at here? All right, there's a many-cause stimulus. Inflation doesn't happen just overnight. Just like, okay, you go to bed, la-di-da, you wake up, oh my God, there's inflation. It takes a long time, and there are many factors. Stimulus money. We're going to start there. Stimulus checks have been coming out since 2008. If you all remember, Obama's response to the 2008 stimulus was what? $600 check. Came to the tune of, what, $787 billion for the taxpayers. Then we had the pandemic. Remember that? We're still knee deep in it, according to some officials. But between the Trump and the Biden administration, that stimulus number went from $787 billion to $5 trillion. Again, that money is on you and I. I remember everybody, all right, we got money. We're in a pandemic and we got money. Trump, yay. I was back then. No, not yay. We're in this because we have more money to spend. Okay? When the pandemic was here and we were getting money from Trump and Biden, what were people doing? People were going out and buying items like toilet paper. They bought it all, right? Oh, yeah. And hand sanitizers. They cleared the shelves. But they didn't buy services, like they didn't go out to eat. They didn't go to the movies. They didn't go to the bar. There were no concerts. That money was just bought stuff. And now people have a bunch of stuff. Hence, supply chain issues. Supply chain issues are also part of this whole inflation number. Due to the pandemic, the supply chain slowed down. We bought more goods. We bought more TVs. We bought more toilet paper. We bought more this. We bought more that. Put a strain on the factories who didn't have workers in the first place. So, the supply train is backed up. And what do they got to do? They got to raise prices because there's less of it. We'll get to lumber and gas in a minute. So we got stimulus checks. We got supply chain issues. I want to put some of this blame where I think it goes. And that is, there is no way we should have shut down the Keystone XL pipeline. I don't care what. We lost jobs. We lost oil independence. We at one time were exporting oil. Now we're back to importing it. Obama liked it. Obama didn't want it. Trump wanted it. Biden first day in office. I'm shutting it down. I'm shutting it down for good. Gas prices. If we're getting all our oil, OPEC's bending us over, Andy.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of...
Not lubing us with any of that oil either.
No, sir. They're keeping all that oil for themselves. So now we're not as independent as we could be. Or are we? Yeah. This year, 2002, first quarter, big oil and gas companies in the United States reported massive, record-breaking profits to the tune of $41 billion. That's just in the first quarter of 2022. So, let's think about gas prices again. If Exxon and Mobil and Texaco and whoever are posting $41 billion in record-breaking profits, who is that money coming from? It's coming from us again. So yeah, closing the pipeline was a bad idea, but letting oil company screw me at the pump ain't a good idea either. And remember, you got to take... people don't want to take the Ukraine war in consideration when they talk about oil prices. We've cut off oil to Russia. Saudis raising their oil. OPEC's raising their oil. Europe's having problems with oil problems. This is the biggest war since World War II. And World War II affected the globe. So, these are all factors. These are all, you can't pinpoint it. I can say that Exxon and Texaco and Esso and Mobil and those guys, $41 billion, shame on you. We're paying how much did we say this morning? Jeez. What else is driving inflation? You know what else is? Wages. When a worker at McDonald's or a worker at Walmart makes more than a painter or a framer or a concrete layer, a skilled laborer, there's something wrong here going on. It's becoming more profitable to chase carts around the Walmart parking lot than it is to learn how to frame a house. That's a shame. So if their wages are going up, guess who's going to get passed the buck to? The products are going to go up. The burger for McDonald's is going up. I love those 6 packs of donuts at Walmart. They're like the old ones that we got back in Michigan. They're just plain donuts. They were like $1.99 for 6 of them, 8 of them. And I went in there the other day to get some, and it's $3.87.
Wow.
So, I mean, it affects donuts. So if the wages are going up, if they got to pay more at Walmart and McDonald's and your local restaurant and your local dispensary and your local bar, then guess what? They're going to pass that on to you too. So the price of business itself is going up. It is not as easy. In my spare time, believe it or not, I have a day job. I paint. Paint's gone up and labor has gone up 300% in the last 2 years. And when I tell a customer a bid on a house, they're flabbergasted that I charge so much. It's like at almost $100 a gallon. So the price of doing business goes up. So they pass that on to you too. I told you we'd get to construction. Remember not too long ago? It was lumber, paint, drywall. We could not, for the life of us, find this stuff. Why? For the reasons I've already mentioned. Stimulus checks, supply chain issues, pipeline closures, record profits for big oil, wages are going up, prices of goods are going up. So now lumber goes up, paint goes up. Baby food's like nowhere. Weren't you sent me a picture the other day?
Yeah, I was in Walmart. I saw the baby formula shelves. They were pretty stripped clear.
There's no formula anywhere. Of course, everybody's blaming the present administration like they're sitting in the White House having something to do with the baby formula. They're not. The baby formula out of stock rate right now is 43% on this day as of today. 43% below normal. Now, remember, in the beginning of 2021 through July, there was a 10% to 15% decline because of a huge Abbott lab recall. The Simplex, or the other company, had a recall in February of this year. So, of course, because there's two major recalls and supply chain issues and material issues, it's got to be somebody else's fault. We're out of baby formula because they couldn't keep up, because they did recalls, because they're not having good government policies. What else is going on? Why else is inflation going on? What about the avian flu? The avian flu. We're losing chickens, we're losing duck, we're losing wildlife, eggs, prices going through the ceiling. Of course, that's the administration's fault too. I didn't see Jill or Joe out there, farmer gear on, doing the chickens, but if it makes you feel better. And we got supply chain issues and wages. Nobody wants to pick eggs anymore. Do we have poor government policies? Yeah. Are they present? Yeah. Did they start here? No. They started in 2008 with Obama and his response to the recession, and followed to the Trump administration's response and stimulus checks through the pandemic, and finished up with Biden's poor decision-making policies. So we've got a track record of the not having the right things done, and it brings us right to here. We've got stimulus checks, wars, price of doing business, wages, profits. I still can't believe that. $41 billion in the first quarter, oil companies, and we're paying. You would think they'd come out on TV and say, we're going to drop, but no, they're not. And you know who gets most of that money? The CEOs. It's disgusting. So, inflation is, what can you do? You got to budget. You got to prepare. You got to watch for what you haven't been told about yet, because there's more coming. Okay? There's more coming. So be fiscal and be smart, and just remember, it's not a single factor. Sure, government policies hurt inflation, bird flus, price increases, supply chain issues, lack of materials, lack of this, lack of that. It's all in the equation. So I'm there. I feel your pain. I'm filling my car up. Andy, it sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Wish they'd fix it. No easy fix, I'll tell you. All right. We're going to do a little winding up. I'm looking at the clock. If you're late for work, you're late now, so you better get going. It's after 8. Watching golf this weekend. And all of a sudden there's this special bulletin, fills the screen red. We have a special news bulletin. I knew Russia had nuked somebody and the shit was about to hit the fan. Can you imagine my relief when it was just another shooting in America? Isn't that a disgusting way to think? Whew. It's just another shooting. It's not nuclear. In case you don't know, the Buffalo shooting incident was, at this time, they're saying was racially motivated. And as of today, Monday, the 16th of May, there have been 198 mass shootings in the United States of America. I'm just going to leave that there. If I could drop the mic, I would, but that's just staggering as far, we're only in May, and it's a lot. Told there'd be no math this morning, and I'm not doing it. Last week, Finland and Sweden making the news. They're applying, and it looks like they're going to get into NATO. Now, of course, Russia's saber-rattling. We're going to nuke, That's why I was worried when the special bulletin came up during the golf game. Finland's a little different project for Russia because the border's along. They got 900 miles of border they share. It would be like Canada telling us, we're going to join Russia, and so I just can see that this all isn't going to go well. So Israel or Turkey said they weren't going to let Israel, or Turkey said no to Sweden, Finland because they're terrorist organizations. Finland and Sweden, terrorists. But then they've changed their mind. So we're going to wait to the vote this week. I think it's coming up. Johnny and Amber start again this week. Oh boy. Last week, Andy, we reached a milestone. And it's always amazed me. But we reached a milestone. That's 1 million deaths due to COVID in the United States of America. I can hear them now. It wasn't COVID. It doesn't, blah, blah, blah. What's always gotten me is the stories about the nurses and doctors and health professionals that with COVID patients dying of COVID in their emergency room, they'll deny it till they're dying dead breath. We've lost 1 million. We've had flags at half-mast here in the state. Dogs. Let me say something about dogs right now.
One time.
6 million. And that's being nice. Dogs are killed every day. And I'm not going to say euthanize, because that's just a nice word for saying murder. They're killed, they're slaughtered, they wag their tails as they're led to the euthanasian chamber. And all you got to do is spay and neuter. And that would help so much. So that's where we got to go with that. We got to adopt. We got to foster and rescue. But spay and neuter. That is the best thing that you can do. I implore you. Help me save dogs. Today, Monday, May 16th, you're going to decide, let's save some dogs. Spay and neuter. Simple as that. Speaking of May, if you hear me sniffling, it's that time of year again. I'm not really sure if I have COVID-14 to the 12th virus now, or if it's just seasonal allergies. However, seeing that I have seasonal allergies every year, I'm going to go with that. But Be careful if you're around me. You might catch them. All right, Andy, what do we think?
Oh, let's wrap this one up.
Let's wrap it up. Andy says wrap it up. So, everybody, you've got your news ready to go this week. Fight inflation. Put the blame where it belongs. Tell big oil you're tired of getting screwed. Go save dogs. Learn to duck and cover. And that's it. Kiss your dog goodbye. If it happens, no, it ain't happening. Putin's got no balls. All right, everybody, we're out of here. Duck and cover just in case. Kiss your dog. See you next week.